Amid escalating tensions in South China Sea, Chinese Navy has staged combat drills in the South China Sea featuring one of its most advanced amphibious warfare ships. The exercises include both offensive and defensive maneuvers, information gathering, battlefield rescues, helicopter drills and a simulation in which the ship successfully tracked and destroyed a target in the air. The ship's recent drills in the South China Sea come amid heightened tensions between China and the Philippines. At the same time, Manila has moved to strengthen its military ties with its neighbors and the United States, including its first joint Coast Guard drill with Vietnam off the west coast of Luzon earlier this month. And DD India's William Denslaw joins us from Hong Kong. William, take us through the details of the manner in which these war games are being played.
Well, significantly, these military drills involve the Jinggang Shan, which is a highly sophisticated landing ship unveiled by China. What it includes is the capability to hold hundreds of troops, potentially 4 hovercrafts, as well as 15 amphibious vehicles. It's understood, according to Chinese officials, that these military drills were high-intensity maritime training. They were both defensive and offensive in nature. Significantly, this comes just a few days after a collision was reported around 3:30 a.m. local time on Monday morning, a collision between vessels belonging to China as well as the Philippines. And since then, a high-stakes war of words between Manila and Beijing. Beijing accusing the Philippines Coast Guard of ignoring its warning during that incident. The Philippines firing back with its rhetoric this week, saying that 2 of its vessels were damaged and that China was engaged in unlawful and aggressive maneuvers. We've even had the US State Department weigh in, saying that Beijing's actions were dangerous and reckless, and that has sparked the ire of Beijing, essentially calling on Washington to not interfere in the region. And this is a highly disputed part of the South China Sea, and this is certainly seen as a significant escalation in tension in the region.
And William, given the tit-for-tat war exercises that are taking place in the region, are there any attempts made to de-escalate the tensions as well?
Well, significantly, there has been a high-profile meeting between To Lam, the head of the ruling party in Vietnam, meeting with President Xi Jinping of China in Beijing this week. Now, as far as bilateral relations, well, the two powers, the 2 nations in the region signed a pact essentially calling to normalize and improve relations, especially when it pertains to the South China Sea. So that is seen as somewhat of a diplomatic victory for Beijing when it tries to seek alliances in what is a highly disputed region. Of course, this all comes as we've seen nations like the Philippines lean more towards Washington when it comes to support in these disputed territories. For context, this all needs to be said that this is framed around a ruling that we saw from the Permanent Court of Arbitration, who in 2016 essentially rejected Beijing's assertions that it controls the majority of the South China Sea. That was a historic ruling, but one that has been historically and vehemently rejected by Beijing.
William, thank you for those updates.